Hi, my name is Kamden Feth, and this is my presentation for Global Citizens Activity 5 for This is America by Childish Gambino. So, a quick introduction into the music video and its messages. So, the main message in this music video is to comment on the juxtaposition between the entertainment industry and the violence in America. There are a lot of shootings and violence that happens in this music video, which is meant to represent the police aggression and brutality that a lot of Black people and people of color face today. Now, despite all of this ongoing violence that's happening in the music video, Gambino maintains a smiling face and dances very happy, very gleefully, showcasing how pop culture and music can at times distract people from the negative things that are really going on in the world. So, when asked to connect this um, music video to Global Goal 16, I was a little unsure at first, considering the graphic and violent nature of the music video. But then I realized that that's ultimately what Gambino is trying to do with this depiction. Is he's trying to promote justice for those who are suffering. He's trying to show the suffering and show how negative it is, and that he wants to end it. And the targets go a little bit more in depth into this. For example, target 16.1 is meant to reduce violence everywhere, which Gambino wants to do by showing viewers how disturbing the reality is of police brutality. Target 16.C also does a similar thing of wanting to promote and enforce non-discriminatory laws, and these laws have the potential to protect Black people from race-based violence, just as Gambino comments on and intends to get from this music video. Going a little bit more into depth on the communication side of things, there are a few communication concepts that really help bring out that message that Gambino is trying to portray here. One of the first things I want to talk about is high power distance culture, which in chapter 10, page 46 of the textbook is described as a culture where certain groups have more power over everyday citizens. And these can include members of the royal family or a ruling political party. Now, the United States is technically considered a low power distance culture, which is where everybody, no matter how their socioeconomic status is, no matter the positions that they hold, that they are all equal. However, Gambino depicts the society in a different way. He depicts it as a high power distance culture. So when Gambino is seen running from the police in 354 to 401, he is describing that uneven distribution of power. Throughout the video, we see people just playing instruments, singing, and really participating in very innocent activities, and yet they're still faced with that violence, even though it wasn't provoked, um, which is proving that race-based power imbalance that we see from police brutality. Another one is vocalics. So, vocalics are different vocal inflections that communicate meaning behind the words being spoken. And we see this in chapter 5, page 131. So, an example of this would be changing the tone of your voice to show that you're frustrated, maybe having a lower, deeper voice, or amused, maybe your voice is higher. So, Gambino really showcases a lot of different vocalics throughout the video. It's very up and down, up and down. For example, when the choir is singing along with Gambino, their voices are very high, very energetic, very happy. They're moving, they're dancing, and it's a very happy and welcoming, friendly vibe. However, when Gambino shoots and kills the choir, his voice changes to a much deeper and serious tone to show the depth and the weight of what has just happened. And this is seen in 150 to 202. The third one would be informative speaking, which is addressing and communicating to others a message to inform them and increase their knowledge about a topic in chapter 14, page 398. An example of this would be a teacher educating their students about a subject. The whole purpose of this video is basically to be informative, but one of the main things that he kind of states that really promote this informative speaking is when he's saying police be tripping now and guns in my area, which he says on 114 to 121. So this is informative speaking that he's using, which is meant to tell the viewers exactly what's going on and exactly the kind of police brutality that he's experiencing. Another thing that I want to focus on is the use of the words my area, which show that even Gambino himself has experienced and seen this kind of violence, and that no matter their status, no matter how famous they are or popular they are, that these things happen to people of color no matter what. The last one that I want to talk about is loaded language. So, loaded language, according to Chapter 4, page 94, are words that hold either strong, positive, or negative connotations. Excuse me. So, an example would be saying family reunification versus chain migration when talking about immigrants coming into America. They both technically have the same meaning, but they present different messages. Family reunification has a very positive connotation, whereas chain migration has a very negative connotation. So, Gambino repeatedly states from 52 to 108, "This is America." It's the title of the song. It's the sort of main focus point of the song and the music video. And it's said with a very negative connotation. The words themselves could be seen as very, not meaning very much, or they could be seen as both positive and negative. But the tonality of Gambino's voice, as well as the scenes of violent shootouts and riots, show America as a negative and dangerous entity in this context. So, lastly, going into the conclusion, throughout this class, I've learned how diverse communication really is. We all speak in different ways, whether it's our accents or our general vocal tonality. I've also learned that different cultures and societies, even just within the United States, have different social cues, which affects the way in which we communicate with each other. In addition to learning about communication, I've also learned so much about Global Goal 16. At first look, I thought that Global Goal 16 is just about promoting peace in our society. However, as I've gone through this course, I've learned how much more detailed the global goal is, such as aiming to provide legal identity for all and develop the transparency of our government institutions. Lastly, over the course of these past 5 assignments, I've realized how connected I am to Global Goal 16. After my humanitarian trip to Tanzania, which I discussed in my very first assignment, where we worked to provide a safer and more peaceful environment for one of the rural areas, promoting peace has always been a goal and a passion of mine. I've loved being able to learn more about Global Goal 16 and how I can use communication to promote peace and justice in my daily life. Here are my works cited, and thank you so much.